George was talking about this, that, the military operation in Iraq at one time was called Operation Iraqi Liberation. What does that spell? What's the acronym for that?
I don't know. What is it?
Operation Iraqi Liberation. Lenny, come on. What's the acronym?
Oil.
So they changed it to Operation Iraqi Freedom, which is OIF.
Yeah.
Now they're changing it to Operation New Dawn, beginning in September.
Now, there was a blowout at a gas well in Alberta, and Mrs. Steele, if you go to Google and you put in oil well blowout,
yeah,
you will start to see that over the last 3 years, there is a rash of oil well blowouts all over the place in North America.
I didn't know that.
Part of the ongoing low-level, behind-the-scenes global warfare.
So this is behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Wow, I
but
didn't
there was
know
a
that.
blowout at a gas well. Energy regulators and police say a blowout at a gas well licensed for deadly hydrogen sulfide in northwestern Alberta was almost certainly an industrial accident that poses no public danger.
Do you believe that at all?
I don't think so. One thing for sure the law of averages, folks, the government is lying. That's the first stance. They seldom tell the truth. They seldom tell the truth. But the law of averages is that they're lying. And that's after decades of testing their statements against whether it's
We've
the
also
litmus
got
test. Yeah, what else have we got that's
U.S.
shocking?
refuses to endorse British sovereignty in the Falklands oil dispute.
Yeah, what's happening there? Because
Washington refuses to endorse the British claims to sovereignty with the Falkland Islands.
Yep.
And it's really a diplomatic row over oil drilling in the South Atlantic intensified in London, Buenos Aires, and at the UN. Obama doesn't want to do anything about it. He wants to just, stand in the sidelines with this issue. So, it's Britain's claim that oil exploration near the islands is sanctioned by international law, saying that the dispute is strictly a bilateral issue. We've got that Ban Ki-moon comes into play here too. The UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon.
Banky, yeah.
Banky. Yeah, his name is Bank, isn't it?
Yeah. Mrs. Steele, many years ago, when Katrina hit, we talked about how the underwater demolition team of the Navy blew up the dikes.
Yeah.
That it was another act of Harpicane.
Yeah.
Today there was an article in the Toronto Star. Former cop admits role in Katrina cover-up.
Oh.
So guilty of lying to help justify police killings.
And they were shooting. I think they shot a mentally disabled man
they
and
went
a 19-year-old.
in and shot a lot of people.
But you know what they said? That there were at least 500 black men, young men, that were found shot in the head.
Yeah.
After Katrina.
Yeah. And, of course, the story next to it is another interesting story. We talked about the psychiatrist death list. We've been the ongoing psychiatrist death list and how that triggered the sleepers. Another sleeper
and
in
where it's
Littleton,
near
Colorado,
Columbine.
near Columbine. So there were in the last 2 weeks, ever since we've talked about the fact that the Fort Hood psychiatrist was the trigger to other sleepers. We've been bang on. Each week there's been a sleeper.
There's been somebody
showing up. And this week, as soon as the Olympics are over, there'll be some more sleepers.
I think there'll be more stuff going on.
More and more and more sleepers.
And also, what, going into the U.S. lawmakers blast Toyota chief. So there's a lot of financial warfare, Japan and U.S. financial warfare.
If
so
you
that
go
just
to our
continues.
Facebook site, you have a whole story. Wayne Madsen and Lyndon LaRouche, two different journalists, organizations, have all come out and talked about how the Toyota situation is just part of the warfare, ongoing warfare against the Japanese by the U.S. auto companies, which are now, the biggest auto salesman is now Obama. He's an automobile salesman now. He owns the automobile companies, the big ones.
He does, doesn't he?
And so he wants, in order to save jobs in America, LaRouche and Wayne Madsen have both shown that they're fudging and playing around with the standards now to make it look like the Japanese have had all these problems when in fact it's a lot of nonsense.
It was all conjured up. It's all a
it's
lie.
all been conjured up.
It's a lie.
Once again, it's a false flag conjured
Another
up to start
false
an
flag
economic
event.
war
Yeah.
with the Japanese.
I mean, we got the problems in Greece too. You know, there's just all kinds of stuff happening. Now, do you remember I talked about there was an offensive, a NATO offensive in Marja in Afghanistan?
Yes, yes.
And there was a whole area of poppy seed fields, opium fields,
Poppy fields, which Canadian troops are doing a
Yeah.
wonderful job guarding with their lives.
And you know what? They're killing a lot of the civilians there now. So there was an
that's
article
shocking.
there. I know it's shocking. Look, they keep killing these poor Afghani people, and the NATO keeps apologizing and saying, "We're so sorry we killed all these Afghan civilians."
Oh, that's absolutely
How can you be
shocking.
sorry?
That's shocking.
Aren't you killing them on purpose?
Shocking.
Obama tries new health care remedy. I don't know how he's ever going to get that through, but they're saying that it's better than you think it is, but I don't know.
Well, Barbara Olson is
No, it's
still
never.
alive. Remember, she was supposed to be on, according to Ted Olson, her husband, she was on the plane that hit the Pentagon, but Sherman Skolnick caught him in a lie. And
Is she
folks,
on the
I've got
Riviera
shocking news for you.
somewhere?
Barbara Olson is still alive. Investigate 9/11 and the lies. You won't get any. Look, these things. Sure, we should investigate 9/11, but they won't investigate 9/11 with a panel of people so that the truth comes out. They'll cover it up and cover it up and cover it up unless there is a violent revolution in the United States to take out the gang, the junta that took control of the United States in Dealey Plaza.
Also,
Nothing's going to happen.
There was an article about the smoking gun documents in prisoner abuse scandal. That's in Canada, you know, the torture gate.
Yeah.
So that is a pretty unbelievable thing. The notorious Afghan prison system, you know, where they were sent, these prisoners, and they were tortured. And that Canada's in complicity in that. And, wow, there's so much stuff.
Well, you know, the Canadian troops have been doing a wonderful job ensuring that this Afghan poppy crop and the drugs are moving and the drug money is available to the Bush-Clinton-Mulroney junta and the Anglo-American establishment, and Her Majesty's able to make her derivative.
So it
her
actually
derivatives on
props
her-
up the money, doesn't it?
Props up-
The drug cartel money
Yes.
props up the money.
props up
That's
the,
what it does.
the system.
The system, the whole system.
Yes.
So without the drug cartel money,
Well, that's why we're fighting in Afghanistan. That's
Exactly.
why we're
The
fighting.
British,
that's why the
Canadian, Americans,
Israeli troops
yeah.
went into Lebanon, and let's not forget the fact. That America and Britain are Hebrew nations.
They are.
That their real name is Israel.
And
that the name given to the
Ephraim
name
and
Israel is not
Manasseh.
given to the Jewish people.
Nope.
And the Jews are being used as a beard, as fodder, as cannon fodder in Canaan and in Palestine as fronts.
they're coming to get you, Lenny. Lenny.
If the Jews had
Can
their
you hear
own
them?
homeland, it would be called by their ancient title Judah.
That's
but
right.
it's not. So, you know, let's not kid ourselves.
We know who they are.
This is the
We
secret,
found the
secret
lost
knowledge.
sheep.
We found the lost 10
We did.
tribes.
Yeah,
And we now
the
know.
lost sheep of
And of
Israel.
course, remember, the Bible is a book about Israel and only other nations to the degree that they come in contact with Israel, i.e., Hebrew nations, the lost 10 tribes, Joseph, Reuben,
Simeon,
Simeon,
Benjamin, Levi.
and that's right. Those,
Gad.
yeah, the descendants of Abraham,
Dan.
Isaac,
Naphtali.
Saxons, Isaac's sons,
Isaac's sons.
United Kingdom, Union Jack.
All
Wake
that
up, folks!
stuff. Wake up,
Exactly,
wake up.
exactly,
Wakey, wakey.
exactly.
But you know what? They're in a lot of trouble now.
And of course, and in the Bible, in Genesis, the actual homeland given to the British and the American people, as well as the Jews, is the whole land that runs from the cedars of Lebanon to the Euphrates and down to the wilderness, to the Sinai and along. It's Abraham's birthright. It's a huge tract of land that covers the Middle East. So I would imagine that they're going to want to reclaim their land. and that's what we're
That's
watching
I
them
think
do.
that's what is
They're
happening.
reclaiming
Actually,
their land.
They are reclaiming their
They're
land without
reclaiming their land.
realizing they're doing it.
Exactly.
I mean,
Without realizing it.
Isn't that where the